Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most beloved animated films ever made, DreamWorks' How to Train Your Dragon. This isn't just a summary, it's a full movie recap and detailed breakdown of Hiccup's journey, Toothless' bond, and how an entire Viking village's fate was changed forever. So, grab your shield, sharpen your axe, or better yet, saddle up your dragon because we're heading straight into Berk. We open with the island of Berk, a place where Viking life is hard, cold, and constantly under attack by dragons. Here, dragons are seen as nothing but enemies, stealing livestock, burning homes, and causing chaos. The village's culture is built around one thing: killing dragons. Our narrator? A skinny, awkward Viking teenager named Hiccup Horrendous Haddock III. Unlike the other Vikings, Hiccup is clumsy, small, and doesn't quite fit in. His father, Stoik the Vast, is the chief of Berk, big, strong, respected by all. But Hiccup? He's seen as a disappointment. Hiccup wants nothing more than to prove himself, to show he belongs in a village of warriors. One night, during yet another dragon raid, Hiccup decides he's finally going to make a difference. Using one of his mechanical contraptions, he aims for the most feared and mysterious dragon of them all, the Night Fury. To everyone's disbelief, Hiccup actually manages to shoot it down. But there's a catch. Nobody believes him. Determined to prove his worth, Hiccup sets out to track down the fallen dragon. And when he does, he discovers something no Viking has ever done before. In the forest, Hiccup finds the Night Fury tangled and injured. He raises his knife, ready to kill and finally prove himself, but he can't do it. Instead, he looks into the dragon's eyes and sees fear. And in that moment, Hiccup makes a choice that will change history. He cuts the ropes, freeing the dragon. But there's a problem. The Night Fury's tail fin is destroyed, meaning he can't fly. Hiccup names him Toothless for his retractable teeth and begins secretly visiting him, trying to understand him. Through trial and error, Hiccup learns that dragons aren't the mindless killing machines the village believes. He studies Toothless, sketches him, and even begins to design a prosthetic tail fin to help him fly again. What follows is one of the most magical bonds in animation history. The training scenes, teaching Toothless to trust, sharing food, drawing lines in the sand, show the slow growth of trust and friendship. Parallel to this, Hiccup is forced into dragon training with the other kids, including Astrid, Fishlegs, Snotlout, Roughnut, and Toughnut. But instead of using violence, Hiccup applies what he's learned from Toothless: calm, respect, and empathy. Shockingly, he begins to succeed where others fail. As Hiccup's bond with Toothless grows, his secret becomes harder to keep. He flies with Toothless using a custom-made saddle and steering mechanism. The flying sequences are breathtaking, Hiccup and Toothless learning to soar together, crashing at first, but eventually sinking perfectly. But when Astrid discovers the truth, things get complicated. Furious at his betrayal of the Viking way, Astrid tries to tell the others. But after experiencing the wonder of flying with Toothless, even she begins to see dragons differently. That is, until they discover something terrifying. Toothless takes Hiccup and Astrid to the dragon's nest. What they see is horrifying: an enormous, monstrous dragon known as the Red Death. This beast controls the smaller dragons, forcing them to steal food and serve it, or be eaten themselves. This revelation changes everything. The war between Vikings and dragons isn't what it seems. But Hiccup's secret is exposed when his father finds out. Feeling betrayed, Stoik uses Toothless to track down the dragon nest. Toothless is captured, and Hiccup is left heartbroken by both his father's disappointment and his dragon's imprisonment. The Vikings launch an attack on the Red Death's lair, but things go terribly wrong. The massive dragon awakens and begins destroying everything. Just when it seems hopeless, Hiccup steps forward. Despite his fears, despite his failures, he knows he and Toothless are the only ones who can defeat this monster. With the other teens riding dragons they once feared, Hiccup rescues Toothless, and together they take on the Red Death in an epic aerial battle. Dodging fireballs, diving through the clouds, and working as one, Hiccup and Toothless bring the beast down in spectacular fashion. But victory comes at a cost. In the final moments, Hiccup is thrown from Toothless and nearly dies in the explosion. Toothless shields him, saving his life, but Hiccup wakes up to find he has lost his leg. When Hiccup awakens, he sees a new Berk. Dragons are no longer the enemy. They're companions, partners, and friends. The village has been transformed. What once was a battlefield is now a home shared by both Vikings and dragons. And at the heart of it all is the unbreakable bond between Hiccup and Toothless. How to Train Your Dragon isn't just a story about slaying monsters. It's about understanding them. It's about courage, empathy, and finding strength in who you truly are. Hiccup didn't become the strongest Viking by force. He became a hero by choosing compassion. And that's what makes this film timeless. So, what's your favorite moment in How to Train Your Dragon? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this full recap, make sure to like, subscribe, and join me for more movie breakdowns.